This is our 6th video in Unit 4 Formative 1 on writing equations. Our first form that we've used a lot is slope-intercept form, the y equals mx plus b. Again, m is your slope, that's our rise over run, and b is our y-intercept. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. We use this for like graphing when we're just plotting our intercepts, our x-intercept and our y-intercept. Now, the key here is when we write equations in this form, a, b, and c are integers, okay? So this is important. Also, a cannot be a negative number. So a is greater than 0 means a is not negative. If we have a negative number, that means we're going to have to multiply or divide by a -1 for that value. Our last form, which is used a lot in writing equations, is our point-slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Let me just change this to a minus sign. That should be a minus x1, okay? So, again, our point, x1, y1, that's numbers that we'll plug in. What we have to know is we won't plug in anything for the y or this x, okay? But again, there will be numbers for this one and that one. Once again, point-slope form is used to write equations in standard or slope-intercept form if we're given a slope and a point. Our first problem is a problem where we're given the slope and the y-intercept. Okay, so if we know this, we know that we're going to plug it into y equals mx plus b form. So the y equals mx plus b. That's what we're going to plug in. So we have y equals 2/3 x, and then b is -3. Now we're going to make this in the standard form. So we want to make sure we get this into ax plus by equals c. So what we're going to do, and there's different variations on this. You can get rid of the fraction first, or you can move the x term first. Well, I'm going to move the x term over first. So as I see here, I'm going to have to subtract 2/3 x from both sides. So we get -2/3 x. We have this y here, so plus y equals -3. Again, those cancel. Now we have our fraction. We also see this negative here. Remember, we don't want this negative, okay? So in order to get rid of the fraction and the negative, we're going to multiply by our denominator and a negative. So we're going to multiply by -3. We're going to multiply everything by -3. Okay, so then we're just left with 2x. Then we have -3y equals +9. -3 times -3 is +9. One. Another type we might have is when we're given the slope and a point. All right, when we're given a slope and a point, we know this is going to be point-slope form. All right, so that's our y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Again, this is x1, and this is y1. So we're going to start off by plugging in our information. We have y minus my y value, it's -1, equals my slope is -1/4, times x minus my x value, which is 8. All right, so we're going to now simplify. We have y plus 2, or plus 1, I mean. Negative times negative is a positive. Equals, we're going to distribute. Here, we have negative 1/4 x. Negative 1/4 times a negative 8. That's going to be a positive 2. All right. And then we're going to solve for y. Got minus 1 on both sides. So this is, again, slope-intercept form. But we want standard form again. It says standard form, so that's ax plus by equals c form. So to do that, we're going to move my x term. So we have 1/4 x plus y equals 1. Now, again, there's my fraction. I can't have a fraction. So I'm going to do this slightly different. It's still the same thing. I'm going to show, hey, I'm going to multiply this entire equation by 4, because that will get rid of my fraction. So if I do that, it's like distributive property. So when I do that, I get 1/4 times 4 is 1x. So we get 1x plus 4y, when I take 4 times y, equals 4. That is good. If you want, you could just say x plus 4y equals 4. Our last problem here is when we have 2 points. So in order to do this, we must find the slope first, okay? So we're going to find slope first. So again, that's your slope formula. So m equals, we're going to take my y values, 2 and 10, so 10 minus 2, divided by my x values, 3 and negative 1. So negative 1 minus 3. That equals 8 over negative 4, which simplifies to negative 2. So there's my slope. M equals negative 2. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick a point. All right. I'm going to pick one of those 2 points. So let's pick this one here. Again, you can pick the other one if you want. And then we're going to use it in point slope form. So again, that's the y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So with my point, I do y minus my 2 equals, there's my m, which is negative 2, x minus my x value of my point, which is 3. So I'm going to distribute and simplify. So distribute your negative 2. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. So I have to get this number over to the right side of the negative 2. I'm going to add 2. Y equals negative 2x. 6 plus 2 is 8. And finally, I'm going to move my x term over because, again, it's a standard form. So I'm going to add 2x. So 2x plus y is 2x plus y equals 8. And that's standard form for this one. All right, you guys have a good day.